Hey everyone and welcome to another Armored Warfare video. So update 2026 came out recently. With that came a new Israeli line of vehicles. We're going to be taking a look at one of those that I clicked with immediately, and that is the new tier 2 main battle tank, and that is the M51 Isherman. Now, after the end of the Second World War, the US had a huge surplus of tanks in Europe, and rather than shipping them all back home to be broken up and salvaged, a large number were just sold on to other nations, most notably here, the Israelis. Originally, they got fitted with the 75mm from the AMX-13 series of French tanks. They got designated the M50. However, it was eventually decided to fit them with the even bigger 105mm French Model F1 gun. Now, the M51 would go on to serve during the Six-Day War, where they would take on way more advanced, heavier vehicles, the Soviet tanks like the T-54s, T-55s, and T-62s. And with that really punchy 105mm gun, they were able to penetrate with its heat ammo. It was eventually phased out the IDF around the early 1980s, although it was used in some form or another up until like the late 90s. In Armoured Warfare, however, it appears, like I say, as a T2 premium vehicle, meaning it gets all the bonuses premium vehicles do, 20% increased XP, as well as 50% additional credits. So what are we looking at with it? Well, let's start with the Boomstick, and that is the French 105mm gun. You only have a choice of two ammo types here, high explosive anti-tank or heat, and high explosive. No armor piercing here at all, which is fine since most vehicles of that tier are spamming heat and are weak to heat anyway because of the way heat works. The 300mm of penetration its rounds get are going to be more than enough to deal with just about anything, with the exception of some of the really seriously heavily armored stuff like the Shock Dalet, the T2 Israeli vehicle, and you're going to have to flank that to be able to put shots into. You can't even get through its lower plate. Honestly though, the gun handles really nicely. It's got some amazing gun depression, so those pesky bumps aren't going to cause you too many problems bringing your gun to bear on something. The aim time is good, it's got a decent rate of fire, it's pretty accurate. Quite frankly, it is a pretty decent little gun. So with the M51, don't really rely on armor to be doing any of your saving for you, to be honest. If we check out the new armor model, check out the armor calculator, you can see here, basically another Isherman firing at the front here is going to pen everything, except like some really like extreme angles. Let's get it, like, that's flat straight on. So apart from these really like extreme angles and like the top of the mantlet here and around the gun, you're going to pen absolutely everywhere. But the crazy thing is, if we actually change the vehicle we're going to shoot at, let's go let M41 Walker Bulldog, tier 1. It can basically bend just about everywhere. If we go to the Lav 150, even the Lav 150 can pen pretty much everywhere on the front here, look. So don't be relying on the armor here, it's not really going to do anything for you. I mean, even at the side, look at that. All green. All of it is green. Absolutely no problems getting through anywhere here. Look at that. I mean, you can't even really side scrape or anything. Look, that still 100% on a Lav 150 with 25mm armor piercing. Like, it just absolutely tears these things to shreds. This thing has no armor. Really, do not be trying to rely on this to do any form of tanking. It's not going to do you any good. So with a good gun but crap armor, what does that mean for the playstyle of the Isherman? Well, it's got above average camo for an equivalent tier main battle tank, so that should give you a bit of an idea of how it's kind of designed to be played. It's actually a sniper sat behind the front line putting accurate fire into vehicles that are spotted by your more heavily armoured allies. It's decently mobile on its own though, so you can do a bit of a shoot and scoot kind of way of playing, played a bit more like a light tank rather than a straight up brawler. To be honest though, I don't know why, but I just immediately clicked with this vehicle. I started playing it and had so much fun. The crazy thing is that while it's a solid vehicle with a good gun, it doesn't really do anything special that something else doesn't. Don't know whether it's the nostalgia feeling of a bunch of Shermans roaming around the battlefield or what it is, but I kind of fell for it the second I started playing it. It's honestly, I mean, it's hard to recommend a low tier premium. The credit boost is kind of wasted because it can only play in easy PvE where the earnings aren't great at all, but in PvP it can actually be pretty useful. The thing is, it's a really decent vehicle. It's kind of fun to play. I really like it a lot. The extra credits, however, you know, they do help with, you know, the vehicle not being too costly. Like, in terms of buying the actual Isherman, it's not too expensive. But it can help boost your early game credits and help you get those initial vehicles and get them upgraded as soon as you can. It's a solid little tank with a pretty good gun. And I've had a huge amount of fun blasting around the battlefield in it. And I hope that if you do decide to pick it up, that you have as much fun with it as I have. So I hope you enjoyed looking at my video for the M51 Isherman. I'm gonna have some more videos coming soon. As always though, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one.